G'day folks, welcome to another video set in Fallout 4, playing on the PlayStation 5. So here we are in the southern part of the map at Merkwater construction site. And it's back in my medieval playthrough, where my character is a descendant of a knight's hospitaller. Even though in medieval times knights hospitaller were a monastic order and were celibate. They made it as far as the 20th century, in fact the 21st century. And they made an extensive hospitaller preceptory at Sanctuary Hills. You know, you can see that in a previous video. So here we're at Merkwater. It's one of my favourite sites, just because I like swampy, marshy areas to work with. And what's that over there? Well, another medieval institution run by various orders of monks, and indeed by an order of knights known as the Knights of St. Lazarus. Had Lazar houses, which are effectively leper colonies, or a kind of a retreat for poor and diseased people. And I think these were quite often taken over by Knights Hospitallers, because the Knights of Lazarus, I don't even know if they still exist. They probably went the way of the dodo. So here I am building a leper colony, or a retreat for people with less than desirable sociable diseases. And of course in Fallout world, ghouls have a less than appealing complexion. They effectively look a bit like lepers. Because one of the things about the process of leprosy, as it advances, you lose many of your extremities, the tips of your fingers, and it works its way inward. You lose your nose, and end up looking a bit ghoulified. Oh yeah, this is in the real world. Leprosy still exists in some third world countries. I'm not sure if the modern day... I don't know if the modern day Knights Hospitaller still do a lot of medical work. Well, they are in the Holy Land again, with hospitals and hospices. Because a leper colony is also a hospice. You don't tend to leave these places if you happen to have leprosy or some other debilitating or deforming disease. Of course, it's now perfectly curable. So how could there be a leper colony in the Americas? How would that happen? Quite easy, really. Leprosy wasn't treatable, couldn't be cured until the 20th century. Medicine wasn't so advanced. And if you remember the film The Fog, the Carpenter film, The Fog. Don't go in the fog. Stay away from the fog. That was about a leper colony. A shipload of people establishing or wishing to establish a leper colony. And the local people not desiring to have a leper colony on their doorstep set about wrecking their ship. And hence the vengeful ghosts of these leper mariners, the sailors and all aboard that went to the bottom, went to an untimely death as a result. The fog. Don't go into the fog. So it's quite possible there were leper colonies in Massachusetts, in New England, and pretty much all the areas in the Americas where there were old country colonies. That's why I built this place in a sort of Scottish or Irish look. It looks very like a Scottish or Irish tower house, a small castle, a defensible castle. Got lots of facilities here. A clinic, of course. And the Knights Hospitaller emblem, their sigil, was a white cross on a black background. The Maltese cross, usually. So many small residences here.
Should let me take a look at you.
So there's a little retreat, a little sanctuary where lepers and other social outcasts, people with facial deformities and other unsightly diseases could find a home.
Yeah?
Rains a lot here. And of course the castle or tower house stands in its own moat. With lots of tarberries around it. And of course the various doctors and other medical professionals in the order, knights with a training in medicine, would live in the castle, in the keep, the tower there. Whereas these outbuildings would be the residences of the poor unfortunates that they're treating. And if they were here because they are ghouls, then they may have been here for a couple of 100 years. Given the extended life expectancy of ghouls, the ghoulified. And because it's a religious order, the Knights of Lazarus and the Knights Hospitaller, there's going to be a chapel here, and rather conveniently, even in the vanilla base game, there's a chapel here. Which is what gave me the idea of building this place.
It's a pleasure to serve with you, ma'am.
Quite a nice little chapel. Sinking into the marsh, which is maybe why they don't use it anymore. I wish details like this were in our kit of usable parts. Some nice Norman Romanesque looking features, very medieval. In style, that is. Well, not genuine medieval, obviously. So there's a definite history of lepers in the Americas, of leper colonies existing. A small community, however. Always rains here. I should really set up one of these firework things which can change the weather altering fireworks. So just a circuit of timber walls and fences to protect the place. With a couple of shops, including his outdoor cafe or bar. There's the workshop, you can't really move it. And this is the smallest structure I could build over it. Oh, self-refilling ammo boxes. Marvellous. You can ring the bell for getting all the residents together, and here's the refectory, their dining room, communal dining. And of course, there's no sign of the chef because I'm making a video. They've buggered off. They've disappeared. But if you see someone with a chef's hat on, you'll know that's her. I think it's a her. So you order your food here, and then you can take it to the table. See anyone with a chef's hat on?
Yes?
Maybe in the tower, in the castle itself.
Jackson ensured I was well built for travel. His modifications will be adequate for quite some
Got
time.
work to do. Hands up.
And the style of the buildings in my usual Victorian Gothic revival, but with a touch of Scottish austerity about it. And there's a resident of Scotland. I've seen many buildings very like this. Some of them dating back to the 17th century, but most of them are later, built in the Victorian period, because Queen Victoria was a great fan of Scotland. And of course places like Balmoral and Windsor were all in this Gothic style, with varying degrees of elaborateness. Let's go in and see what's happening, shall we? Close the door and keep the night out. Stormy night. These little Gothic or medieval style windows with tiny little panes. It's much more practical than using normal sized panes of glass, given that it's 200 years after a nuclear apocalypse, and trying to get large pieces of glass to fit your windows is not easy. one of the toilets. Going down into the basement, the crypt, the dungeon of the castle. And some poor souls got the residence down here. And here's the water, the main water pump. There are other water pumps. And here's one of the last vestiges of the original house that was here on the site. And here's a very modest bed. Someone's private quarters. And going up. So this is the main bedroom or dormitory up here. Again with these small paned windows in the medieval style. Because just as in the post-apocalyptic world, in medieval times, glass was very expensive. You look nice today. I was going to populate this place entirely with ghouls. Given that, you know, it's a leper colony. So there's something like 11 beds and 8 residents. And there might be lepers, but I want them to be comfortable. Comfortable. So I make sure every chair works, every bed works. Every seat is sittable. Oh, and they've got a graveyard for when they're done living. Lots of tarberries around here. It's not just a slog that has tarberries.
Still have to discover out here.
And all the graves have an east-west orientation, as is traditional among Christian communities. There's that chapel again. This is a grim evening, isn't it? I wonder if the chef's turned up. 'Cause it must be towards dinner time for the evening meal. There's another water pump. There's another generator. Nope, still no sign of the cook. So thank you for watching this. I hope it was enjoyable. Hope you maybe found it inspiring, so you can try something like this yourself. A small community of one-time lepers. Oh, they are starting to turn up for their meals.
Don't much
Well, that's
care for their
nice.
neighbor. That place is nothing but trouble.
That's a nasty touch of leprosy you've got there. But not everyone here is
Crop's been growing
diseased
pretty good
or
lately.
indeed 200 years old.
Easy living, this ain't.
And of course you can sit outside.
I call a good day one that ends without an empty stomach. If you work, you eat. It's as simple as that.
Don't mind me, I'm looking for the chef. I think I'm just gonna
Yes? Farm's not much.
call the bugger,
It's
eh?
something.
Let me pass, I want to ring the bell. Oh dear. When your companion's not being a bollard, other people are.
What's going on?
Let's find this damn chef, shall we?
Something?
Come on, where's the chef? What have you done with her? Have you eaten her?
What do you need?
I need to find the chef. Could be anywhere.
Oh my, it's raining again. Fortunately, it won't affect my electronics.
Yep, that's another mystery. I'm sure she'll turn up one day. Check this house, see if she's in there. Already been in here, but she may have gone to bed. No, not in there. Not in there. I should really get electricity down here so they can have their TV on. Well, thanks again for watching, for staying this long. Hope it wasn't too boring. I'll put you to sleep with my monotonous drone.
Huh?
That's a big weapon you've got there. So stay tuned for more. If you like this, give it a like and thumbs up the video. And if you want to see more, subscribe, and YouTube will direct you to similar content. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. So thanks again, and ta-ta for now. Cheerio. I'm going for my dinner. Bye bye.